Good day to you. We often wonder in difficult circumstances, how will God deliver? Especially when approaching an election, people get worried and they wonder how God will interact. This is God's promise from Psalm 50. For God summons the heavens above and the earth to judge his people. So God wants God's best in a nation during election times or afterwards or before that. But how would that come to pass? Gather my godly ones to me. God's godly ones have to be gathered to him in agreement and have more time with him in worship and so on for God to come through with his throne presence. If we just continue with ad hoc discussions, dissensions, disagreements, and diatribe, God is not in it. It's only our intellect, reasoning, doubtings, conundrums that have effect. But God says, gather my godly ones to me. So even at a time like this, those who know the Lord come together, those who have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. So there has to be a covenantal agreement in this, that we will do it with God. God will not do it with us, without us, and we cannot do it without God. But there has to be a covenant and a sacrifice of giving ourselves to God's presence. There's a cost in it to have God in our life. We can't live as we please for deceitfulness of riches or pleasures of this world, or worn by the cares of this world, and then expect God to deliver his best for us. If we do what he has said, make a covenant with me by sacrifice, the heaven then declares his righteousness. God himself will be judge. We need to consider this, whether presidents are God appointments or what the majority desires. Does it happen by default? We know when Israel had no king, God was directly in a theocracy. They said, we want a king like other nations. And how did it happen? Then God knew their heart, what they were looking. They were looking for a king-sized person. And the tallest person of Israel at that time, Saul, was made king, not because God thought he was fit, but because people thought his size, his personality, stature, outward looks made him a king. Of course, he had a disastrous career, but God's chosen was in the waiting, that was King David. So we consider these things this morning. When we want God to have a big influence on a major situation, God's godly ones have to come together and make a covenant with him by sacrifice and agree to a lifestyle in our daily, hourly living, that God will come through with his meekness, and we will honor his truth, and his righteousness will prevail in all our decisions. We can't ask him to do that and not this. So we can make an agreement, Lord, be in my life, that the kingdom of heaven may rule in all my affairs. So put together in all our affairs. Thank you for listening. I am Dr. Lalith Mendis. You can receive more clips of this nature, spirituality, reason, and science from my, if you send me a WhatsApp to +94 74 211 5011. You can also download my app, Golden Nuggets, from App Store or Google. Thank you for listening.